Hello and good day. My name is Marcus Labian Orteca, a BSed English student, second year, and today we will be discussing types of sentences. But before we dive into the types of sentences, let's first define what is a sentence. So, a sentence is the largest unit of any language. In English, it begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop, or a question mark, or an exclamation mark. The sentence is generally defined as a word or a group of words that expresses a true idea by giving a statement, order, or asking a question or exclaiming. Now that we know what is a sentence, let's go now to the types of sentences. So structurally, sentences are four types. There is simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, and compound complex sentence. So a simple sentence is a sentence. A simple sentence must have a single clause, a single verb, which is independent and it cannot take another clause. Example: I always wanted to become a writer. In this example, there is one clause and one verb. Compound sentence. A compound sentence must have more than one independent clause with no dependent clauses. Some specific conjunction, punctuation, or both are used to join together these clauses. Example: I always wanted to become a writer, and she wanted to become a doctor. In this example, there are two independent clauses, which are the independent clause, I always wanted to become a writer, and the independent clause, she wanted to become a doctor. And there are also two verbs in these clauses. And it is joined by a conjunction and. Compound complex. A compound complex sentence also has more than one clause, but one of them must be an independent clause, and the other or others must be a dependent clause or clauses. There are also some particular connectors for these clauses of a complex sentence to be connected. Example: I know that you always wanted to become a writer. Here, a dependent clause is followed by a connector and independent clauses. The other way around is also possible. So, the dependent clause here is I know, and which is connected by the word dot, then followed by our independent clause. You always wanted to become a writer. Our fourth, compound complex sentence. So a compound complex sentence or complex compound sentence is a mixture of the features of compound and complex sentence in one sentence. So it must contain at least two independent clauses and at least one dependent clause. We have here an example. I know that you always wanted to become a writer, but I always wanted to become a doctor. Here, one dependent clause is followed by a complex connector, and two independent clauses with a compound conjunction between them. So, there are also functionally sentences that are, we also have functionally sentences. There are mainly four: declarative sentences, imperative sentence, interrogative sentence, and exclamatory sentences. So, declarative sentence. An assertive sentence or declarative sentence simply expresses an opinion or feeling or makes a statement or describes things. In other words, it declares something. This type of sentence ends with a period, a full stop. Example: I want to be a good cricketer. This is a statement with a period at the end. Next example, I am very happy today. This is declarative sentence which is expressing a feeling. Next is imperative sentence. So we use an imperative sentence to make a request or to give a command. Imperative sentences usually end with a period, a full stop, but under certain circumstances, it can end with a note of exclamation, an exclamation mark. Examples. Please sit down. So here he is commanding a person to sit down. I need you to sit down now. Now maybe the person who's saying this is angry and is expressing some emotions or something. Interrogative sentence. So an interrogative sentence asks a question. Interrogative sentences must end with a note of interrogation, which means it usually ends with a question mark. Examples. When are you going to submit your assignment? This is where we're actually questioning someone. Here, do you know him? As you can see, all of our sentences has question marks. And lastly, exclamatory sentence. An exclamatory sentence expresses overflow of emotion. This emotion can be happiness, wonder, sorrow, anger, etc. Examples. What a day it was. This is expression or something, a happy expression. And second example, I cannot believe he would do that. Maybe the speaker here is aggrieved or angry at something. So those are the types of sentences.